For many, simply taking the tablet out of the box, plugging it in, and installing the driver is the extent of their setup. If that's you, you're missing out on a lot of potential. The tablet control panel is the place where you customize the tablet for your particular preferences. And if you don't know exactly what those preferences are, don't worry. I intend to give you some ideas to try out for yourself. These ideas will, if nothing else, give you a head start on your journey to a more efficient use of your tablet. So let's jump out of Photoshop for a moment and explore the Wacom Tablet Control Panel, also referred to as Wacom Tablet Properties. Now, depending on your operating system, you'll find the control panel in a couple of different areas. I happen to be using the Mac OS, so you will find it under System Preferences and then under the Other section. In Windows, you may find it in two different places. First, under Start, All Programs, Wacom Tablet Properties. Additionally, you'll find it in the Control Panels folder. Once you've navigated to the Wacom Tablet Control Panel, or Properties, let's look at the different areas that we can customize. Now, as soon as you open this, you'll have three sections along the top, and they are Tablet, Tool, and Application, and then followed by a section towards the bottom which includes different attributes that we can customize. But we're going to start right at the top and take a look at what we've got here. Now, I happen to be using an Intuos 3 6x11 tablet today for this portion of the demonstration, but I also use a Cintiq 12WX and at times even a Cintiq 21UX, depending on my task or where I'm located. So we're going to be focusing on the Intuos 3 6x11 for this portion because we have a couple different tools in the section that I'd like to cover. And then I'll talk about some differences between Cintiq and Intuos as far as the setup goes. But 95% or so is exactly the same. Again, I'll touch on some of the different attributes as we go on and take a look at some of the different areas. So under tablet, again, I'm using Intuos 3 6x11 tablet. Next, we have tools. For this particular tablet, I have three types of tools that I can customize. They are functions, the grip pen, which is selected, which you can see grip pen down here, and then also our mouse. Under the Tools section, you'll find Application. In this case, the application in which I can customize is All, meaning all applications will have the same exact attributes. But one of the greatest features about a tablet is the ability to apply application-specific settings. For example, Photoshop, I can have my tablet buttons or express keys, as we refer to them, to do certain things versus something else entirely different in all other applications. So why don't we go ahead and do that right now. To the right of the application area is a plus sign. When I click on the plus sign, a dialog window will open and it'll ask me which application would I like to select. And in this case, it's currently opened applications. So we talked about Photoshop, so I'm going to select Photoshop, and then I can click OK. Alternatively, if Photoshop was not running, I could have come down here and selected Browse, and then navigated to the directory in which I would find the Photoshop application. Incidentally, you see that I have other applications open here. For example, Bridge, that's another application that I could set as well. But I'm going to go ahead and click OK and then point your attention to the application area to the Photoshop CS4 icon. This shows me that I have selected the application to apply application-specific settings. Now, for example, I can set my pen up for this particular application. But I'm not going to touch on that just yet, and rather I'm going to go into setting up the individual tools in more detail in another chapter. Before I jump out of this section, though, I want to cover the bottom portion of the control panel to give you an idea of the different types of attributes that can be customized for each individual tool. So as I mentioned earlier, I have grip pen selected. For the grip pen, I have specifically pen settings, eraser settings, and then mapping, all of which I'm going to go into greater detail a little bit later on. As I select functions, you'll find four different tabs here. I have express keys. Those are the custom assignable buttons that I can set up for individual applications. And incidentally, you'll notice that my Photoshop icon has disappeared. You see, each individual tool can be set up for application-specific settings. So if I wanted to set up my express keys, and in this case actually touch strips and pop-up menu, I would have to again assign Photoshop as an application I wish to customize. So I just clicked on the plus sign, which shows me my currently running or open applications. I've selected Photoshop, and now I'll click OK. And again, we'll see the Photoshop icon appear. Now, moving along to the right, you'll find touch strip, display toggle, and pop-up menu. I'm actually going to cover these a little bit out of order as we move on. I'm going to cover express keys, touch strip, skipping over display toggle, and then cover pop-up menu. Display toggle will be covered, but I'm going to cover it a little bit separately, and it'll make much more sense after we go through some of the other settings. So that said, regardless of how you use your tablet, I think that you'll find a greater level of control and customization and a higher optimization of your workflow if you take a look at the Wacom tablet properties, or control panel as I like to call it, and assign some of your own preferences. And again, you're going to figure out exactly what those preferences are as we go throughout the video.